Welcome to this week's Archer's Choice.
You know, this week we're going back to one of our favorite spots, and that is, well, elk season up at R&K.
Yeah, in Wyoming. We've hunted elk and mule deer up there before.
Yeah, we have, and we've had a blast.
We have. I mean, with all the guys up in camp and everything that goes on, it's a big family.
You know, and the cool thing is like when you start going to different, you know, the same outfitters year after year, you get to know each other. You get like that family atmosphere, and it's so incredible to be up there with everybody. But this year was a little different.
It was a little different. The whole season was a little different.
Man,
elk season
weather and everything.
all over. But we're gonna get going, shall we?
And we stuck it out at R&K.
We did. Good morning. Hey, we are ready to go. Are we ready to go?
Yes, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Let me see. Yes?
Are we early or late?
No, it's
We're
6:05.
slightly late.
We're 5 minutes late. Oh gosh. All right. Well, hey, we're heading to Wyoming, R&K, elk hunting. I didn't get to go last year, so I am excited. I shot my Hoyden yesterday. I mean, thunderheads to 60 yards. I didn't even push it further than that with my thunderheads, because that's just a follow-up shot. I'm just saying. But still, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I can't even see 60 yards.
Today's adventure takes us deep into the wilds of Wyoming with R&K Hunting Company. R&K's exclusive private ranches span over 1 million acres, providing access to prime hunting territory and quality animals. Under the guidance of R&K's seasoned professionals, Ralph and Vicki will navigate the challenging terrain of the Rockies and High Plains. Wyoming is a hunter's paradise, where vast landscapes and diverse habitats make it the perfect destination for elk and mule deer hunting.
We just drove a little over 10 hours to get here. We are at R&K. We just quickly ate dinner really fast because we were eating dinner. And now we are unloading our mess into our rooms and get everything figured out and settled up and ready to go for tomorrow morning.
What's going on? We're here. We're finally returned to R&K, Queen Mountain, Wyoming.
Look at that, they got all pretty mums here. Look at that.
The anticipation for this hunting season has been building for months, especially after the challenges of last year. Last season was particularly tough for elk hunting in Wyoming. Unseasonably warm weather and sparse precipitation affected elk movements, making them harder to locate and hunt. Hunters faced long, arduous days with fewer sightings and less success. Ralph and Vicki's journey begins in the crisp, cold weather of the Wyoming wilderness. The expert guides at R&K understand the weather patterns and the impact the weather has on the elk's behavior. The cold weather often drives the elk to lower elevations in search of food and making them more active during daylight hours. The guides are able to adapt their strategies accordingly, ensuring Ralph and Vicki have the best possible chance of success.
Good morning. Have coffee. Everything's good. We're good to go. It is early. The camp is full. There are plenty of elk hunters here, and hopefully there's a ton of success this week. I'm just saying, and I'm sure there will be.
Camp in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's Rick and I and RJ. First morning out here at R&K, and we're heading back to a unit that we've hunted before, and things have been slow. They're not talking much, but I got Rick. We'll get into it.
Ralph is headed out with Rick for their first morning hunt. This week has started off much colder than what they expected, which has them changing their hunting tactics. They'll have to be more aggressive on foot to track down the wild elk of Wyoming. After a long buggy ride out to their first spot, the journey begins with a nice long hike.
First day. The bull's over You know, on each given hunt, there's things you've got to change up on. You know, we were hiking, we were covering a lot of ground. Early on, the beginning of our hunt, it was cold, it was getting, you know, it was some of it was miserable, but reality check, no matter what we could do, we can't change the weather.
This segment is brought to you by Browning, the best there is. Archer's Choice is brought to you by Bass Pro Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Alps, exceed your expectations. Browning, the best there is. Cold Steel, anytime, anywhere. Cyclops Lights, get out of the dark. DSC, Conservation, Education, and Advocacy. Easton, made in the U.S. since 1922. Hoyt, get serious. Get Hoyt.
Well, you drove us out to the middle of nowhere this morning, behind the whole way.
There's only one way to get here.
I know, but we already heard elk bugling. So, what's the plan?
I think we'll just catch the wind, we'll head on in here and
Okay.
get on these bulls that are bugling. Hopefully call one in close the distance.
Good deal. You know what? When I'm hunting with you now, because this is the first year I'm hunting with you, I realize one thing. That I should have to watch where I'm standing, just like I do with Ralph. Because right now, I feel like that I like tower over Blake. Where if I come and stand next to you, look I'm not that much, you're not that short. He's over there. You know he's there. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, there was 2 or 3 people down there.
Yeah, this one. We just gotta find him, that's all. I just see his body, that's all I can see. Okay. He's going to the left. Before you even raked, he was raking over there, so yeah. We go the second one. Sounds good. There's 2. That little one's chasing the...
We heard a whole bunch of elk. We heard them bugling, we heard cows calling, and every time we thought we could just go ahead and make it happen, yeah, it didn't work. When we first got to R&K, we were so excited. The temperature was cold, they were calling for snow in some areas, and we were pretty excited about it. When we first got there, we were doing a lot of spot and stalking, trying to listen for them, trying to get up on them, and we got into a couple herds of them, but our wind would switch every time.
Just got up. We just had a whole bunch of elk go running in front of the buggy on the way here. Now we've got one bugling over there, but there's another one over there. So, thinking we're gonna get going.
If they're in this canyon still bugling, we'll go after them.
Okay,
If they went over the top, then we'll just let them go.
gotcha.
We'll come back and go after these.
Okay. It's cold. Gotta put my hat back on.
I think he's coming, maybe. You're right.
The wind. It's doing this, and right now it's doing that. That bull was coming in, at least it sounded like he was, and now the wind.
The one day we had some crazy weather. The temperatures were dropping, it's windy, it's hailing outside. I mean, everything that you don't want to happen was happening to us on that day, and it can definitely ruin your opportunities. There's a lot of other things that you need to worry about when you're out there in that kind of weather, and if you're not prepared for it, you could be in trouble.
This segment is brought to you by Bass Pro Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. This segment is brought to you by Muddy, serious gear for serious hunters.
Dealing with all types of weather circumstances, you've got to understand what it's going to do for that given hunt. Well, starting out cold was great because we knew we're going to get that front pass through. It should lower the temperatures and things should get really active. Reality? Yeah, it didn't. From cold to hot. The other thing too is when it gets warm, what are they going to go to? Water.
In the morning, we put her to bed. The wind has been in our favor. Everything's been in our favor except the hang dog. We haven't heard a peep from him.
He's over there.
As the week went on, we got really, really warm, and that snow, yeah, it went away. When we first got in there, obviously you're gonna change your hunting tactics from when you're hunting cold weather to warm weather. Now when the temperature got warmer, yeah, you know what? It's time to sit water holes and wallows.
So Aubrey and I, we're gonna go down to our water hole once again and see what's happened yesterday morning. We heard some bugling, they didn't come in. If we hear it again today, we're going after them. I'm just saying. That's a pretty fresh elk track.
Aubrey and I, we sat in a makeshift blind for quite a few days, and we had elk around us. I did pass up on a young bull, but we were giving it our all. This past fall, Aubrey and I, we spent a lot of time together. On this trip here at R&K in Wyoming for elk, yeah, she was my camera girl. It's a girls' week here, just saying. You go, girl.
We hiked up the mountain. We had a bull. Bugling way down below. We worked around. Got a fresh wow. Definitely we're here this morning. So we're just gonna hunker down, RJ and I, and see what happens.
This segment is brought to you by Hunter Specialties, serious hunting tools. Archer's Choice is also brought to you by Hunter Specialties, serious hunting tools. NAP, hunt with confidence. Muddy, serious gear for serious hunters. Spy Point, connected to your passion. Tracker, built for love of country. True Timber, almost real isn't real enough. True Glow, when brightness counts, count on True Glow. Archer's Choice is also brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Rick, RJ, and I located a pretty active wallow way up on top, literally right on the fringe of the bedding area. So what we did is we'd sneak in there, we'd hunt our morning, and then we'd sneak in to one of those active wallows. Well, we thought we were covered really good, but I gotta tell you something. As that bull started to come down, I think he saw something. It could have been a glare from something we had, the camera lens, anything. And he didn't like it. Off he went.
We just had a bull come in. Guys, but surprise. And he stopped and then he took off. How long ago? Right now. 30 seconds. We filmed a 4-point come in earlier and took off. Cool. We were trying to figure out what spooked him. I think.
He was right here.
I figured he was raking right on in the edge right there.
You know, on each given hunt, there's things you've got to change up on. You know, we were hiking, we were covering a lot of ground trying to locate the herds. But as luck would have it, it was tough.
Ralph has had some amazing encounters this trip with a couple really close opportunities to take down a great Wyoming elk. Ralph, Vicki, and the crew of hunters have really enjoyed their time at R&K Hunting Company. Their experience at camp and out tracking down the Wyoming elk with expert guidance has them coming back year after year.
We have a good wind. It's been swirling a little bit. We got out here early. Right now it's 5 o'clock. It's our last hunt. We heard a bull bugle down low. We watched him come up, bugle. He was walking away, called a couple times. Started coming in this way, went up into that pine trees up there. Thought he was gone. He shows back up, called a few more times. Looked like he was gonna kind of come back. He wasn't sure. But then the way our wind is blowing, he got hold of our scent and he was right on where we walked into. So he went off, but as soon as he went off, he let out another bugle. That's the little one. No, it's not the same one we just saw though. That's a different one. We just had the second bull on that trail up there between us and actually where we parked. We're parked quite a bit ways, but second bull, and then we heard a third bull calling up there in that pine timber that we walked through. The first bull went that way, he got on our trail and went. Second bull got to our trail, went and then went back up. We're gonna go, our wind is blowing that way. We're gonna go get on the other side of that trail, see what we see what happens. That wind is everywhere. We just walked up on this rug. You can see where his brows are hitting both sides of here, but he's hitting this tree and rubbing little stuff on there too. It's really not that old because those green branches that are broken all over here are all still green. It wasn't that old.
We heard a whole bunch of elk. We heard them bugling, we heard cows calling, and every time we thought we could just go ahead and make it happen, yeah, it didn't work. You know what? That's what it is. It's about being out there, it's about the camaraderie and trying the best. And yes, I know when you say, well, that's hunting, some people are like, yeah, okay, whatever, but it is. We did our best. We tried to get up on those elk. We saw them, we heard them, but it just didn't connect. We tried, we stuck it out.
You know, like any hunting, you know, you give it your best shot, and we definitely did, and thanks to all the guides and everybody at R&K, but sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't, and that's why we call it hunting.
Yeah, and I mean, we had opportunities. I just decided to wait.
Well, we passed, you know what I mean? And RJ and I had one day, you know, we had a great encounter. It's just that wind shifted right when it shouldn't have.
Yep.
Well, guess what? That's elk hunting.
So we do hope you enjoyed this week's show. We'll see you next week. Same time.
Same channel.
Right here on the Archer's Choice. This year's gonna be better.
I hope so.
It is.
From starting out cold, we thought, oh my gosh, it's gonna
be
explode.
great, and it got hot.
And then it got warm.
It did. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Closed captions brought to you by Wounded Warrior Outdoors, providing wounded service men and women with therapeutic outdoor adventures.
You know, I wouldn't give this up for any amount of money. You know, when you can have your son or your daughter hunting and filming with you, there's nothing better. But I gotta ask a question. How come when RJ's always filming me elk hunting, I ain't shooting no elk? I know they don't see me, but they might see him because he towers over me. What do you think?